Oi, oi, people, and welcome back to another Bogan breakdown. Here to talk about the game that's coming up against Brighton this weekend. So I guess the first thing to say, guys, is that it was fantastic smashing Spurs, and we really did smash them. That was absolutely wonderful, but it's on to a new test, and to be honest, it's on to a harder test, I think, than Spurs were, because the reason I clipped myself up all week is because Spurs were dead. Spurs are a dead team. They are basically last in shot creating actions, etc., XG, that sort of thing. So I didn't expect anything out of them. Brighton, however, have been having quite a decent start to the season. They've beaten Burnley 2-1. They beat Watford 2-0. Beat Brentford 1-0, and they beat Leicester 2-1. They've drawn with Palace, and they lost to Everton in their last 5 games. Going back from the most recent backwards, they drew, then they won 3, and then lost. So they've got a decent run of form together, guys, before playing us. I think that, they're currently 6th in the table now. I don't think they're going to be able to maintain that form. Looking up at the next 5 or so games that they have, obviously they have us, and they have Norwich, City, Liverpool, Newcastle. So there's some tests coming up for Brighton as well, especially that City and that pool game. And look, I'm definitely biased, but I think we're a test for Brighton as well. I don't think they've really played anyone that's particularly good. Brentford are decent and they beat them. We couldn't beat Brentford, although there was mitigating circumstances. Leicester are quite a good team. They're probably a better team than we are. Or if not a better team than we are, they've definitely shown over a number of years that they're a better team than we are. We've had a lot of changes. What else on Brighton? There's only one other thing, I guess, to discuss, and it's that they may have about half a dozen players out, notably no Bissouma and potentially no Welbeck. So that can only be good for us, guys. Bissouma is a problem. I would have loved him at Arsenal. I wish we went in with a bid for him, but, obviously we didn't. Is what it is, I guess. But it would be good if Brighton don't have him for the game against us. That should give us a little bit more joy in midfield. Moving on to Arsenal, guys. I guess the biggest news for us is that Paul Merson came out and said that this Arsenal 11, if they stay fit, could get top 4. And the next day, the news came out that Granit Xhaka was injured. It looks like he's going to be out for a while. Probably going to be back around January sometime, which means that he's going to be back as Partey goes off to AFCON probably. So we're not going to see the pivot of Xhaka and Partey for quite some time, guys. Now, depending on who you speak to, this is an awful thing or a fantastic thing. Look, I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think our best centre midfield partnership at the moment is probably Xhaka and Partey, but I don't like Xhaka in a midfield 2 with Partey. I don't like Xhaka at all, to be honest. I've been calling to get rid of this guy for quite a few years now. I wish we'd moved past him in the summer, but we obviously weren't able to do that. No one offered us the money that we thought he was worth. I would have bitten Roma's hands off, but that's me, innit? I think the doom and gloom is a bit over the top, to be honest. I think we've seen Partey without Xhaka before, and I don't think he's looked awful. Without Xhaka again, I'm sure it's not going to be the best double pivot that we could have put together, but I don't think it's going to be a disaster. The question, though, guys, really is, what happens then? What does Arteta do? So we have probably 2 established centre midfielders that we that only play centre midfield. We've got a Lukonga and we've got El Neni. So will it be one of them that comes in? Potentially. I think I ran a poll through my Twitter and most people voted for Lukonga. As it's hard to say because I said who will come in, but it's hard to know if people interpreted that as who would they bring in or who they thought Arteta would bring in. I didn't phrase it properly. I think I said who will Arteta bring in. So yeah, look, it could be Lukonga. I don't think it'll be El Neni. There's also the option of Maitland-Niles, who's played in midfield. I don't think it will be Maitland-Niles. It could be. He hasn't had a bad run in midfield this season, but I don't think it will be Maitland-Niles. And then the other option is to put Odegaard back in the pivot, like we did against was it Burnley? I think it was Burnley, and he played in the pivot. Smith Rowe in the 10, and then we had Pepe and Saka on the wings. So that may be something that Arteta considers, especially because this is a good Brighton team that had a good start to the season, but it is Brighton. Our squad is worth significantly more than Brighton's. We should be slapping up teams like Brighton if we want to do anything this season. So, it may be one where we see Odegaard drop a little bit deeper. The problem with that for me, guys, is that I think we have performed best with Odegaard in the 10 and Smith Rowe on the left and Saka on the right. The biggest worry for me with that front four, that three behind the striker, regardless of who the striker is that I was worried about who was going to get the goals. Pepe was our highest goal scorer, goal contributor last season. Probably wasn't the highest goal scorer, but goal contributor. So he does create and score, even though he is exceptionally frustrating a lot of the time. He does get goals and create goals. So I have been worried about playing the Smith Rowe, Odegaard and Saka 3, but it worked great against Spurs. I think, against Burnley we looked all right as well, albeit that was the Odegaard a little bit deeper and Smith Rowe in front. So, look, hopefully we what I would like to see, I think, is Lukonga come into centre midfield, straight swap for Xhaka, keep the team exactly the same as it was from the Spurs game. That's what I would do, personally. But whether or not Arteta will do that, I'm not sure. There may be benefit to having Pepe in the team. It'll give Brighton something to think about, potentially. So, look, either way, I'm just excited for the game. And after this game, there's an international break, I think, which is nice and boring. I hate international football. Unless it's the World Cup or the Euros or something like that. I quite enjoy those competitions. But look, guys, I definitely don't feel as confident about this game as I did about Spurs, because Brighton have been in good form. As I said, they have drawn and then won the last 3. So they're undefeated in 4. And then before that, they only lost to Everton 2-0. So it's not quite bad. But look, in all competitions, we have won 5 of our last 6. Obviously, the loss in that little section is getting slapped up by Man City. But and only 3 of those wins were in the Premier League. But it's not bad, guys. So hopefully we can do something. Take all 3 points. We need them. We're 10th in the table. We'd like to keep moving up, and we've got a chance with these next group of games. They're all winnable games. It doesn't mean we will win them all, or that if we don't get 15 out of 15 points for the next group of 5 games, that we failed or something. But they are winnable games, and if we want to be challenging for anything this season, they are all games that we should be winning. So, I'm going to predict a 2-0 win to the Arsenal. So hopefully that's how we see it go. The game's on here at 3:30 in the morning, guys, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's Sunday morning, so I don't have to work the next day, which is fantastic. Make sure to like, drop a comment, subscribe if you can. It'd be very much appreciated. It really helps. All right, I'll catch you next time.